Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Dragoon Slayer podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me once again, coming out of the sphere, the family man himself, James Haynes.
Hello, 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 I'm out of the sphere.
And we have a returning special guest, Danielle Hernandez, our Bridgerton expert.
Oh, hi.
Yes. It is great to have you guys with me today, where we are going to be discussing The Smashing Machine, the second part of Season 4 of Bridgerton, as well as we are also going to be talking about the live action How to Train Your Dragon. So we're going to just jump right in because we have a lot to discuss. So let's start off with The Smashing Machine, since it's an Oscar-nominated movie.
Yes, it is.
Jimmy, you want to take us on the adventure that is The Smashing Machine, starring The Rock and Emily Blunt?
Yes, it did. And basically, it's talking about the story of Mark Kerr. It's based on his true story. And what it is Mark Kerr, as everybody knows, is a MMA fighter. Let's clarify that correctly. Yeah. Not an ultimate fighter, not in everything. He studied Jiu-Jitsu, he studied boxing, he studied all that. And where he had to go, people will be shocked. He didn't go to Vegas. He lived in, I believe it was New Mexico, correct?
I think so.
Yes. He lived in New Mexico, Arizona, around there, and with Emily Blunt and his character. And he had to travel to Japan to wrestle in not UFC, but Pride.
Yep.
And Pride was the original, the table setter for UFC and all the MMA. And they showed you in the first two episodes, and the first part of the movie is his origin with fighting in Pride and winning the tournaments and all, and setting his mark in Pride. And you look at his character, and then you're like, wow, man, this guy is big and all and everything. He's got some strength and everything else. And then you see all the stuff that he does on the side, whether it's the juice or she's got an attitude problem. And the medical issues.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in this movie because a good chunk of it looks like it was filmed documentary style early on, and then it kind of goes into a little more cinematics. But for the most part, I was underwhelmed by the movie. Now, I know it's based on the real events and everything, but I feel like Emily Blunt's character kind of was left in the dust because it was all focused on Mark's character. So we didn't actually go and get to see like where the dysfunction was. We know that they had a contentious relationship. I mean, she tries to off herself at one point during the film. Oof. But it was
ugly.
It was a lot of, there could have been something there, but I feel like we didn't get to find out like if it was a mental problem, if this was just a toxic trait, if this was just a couple that really was not meant for each other.
I mean, both of them had to go through rehab.
Yeah, but it was at different times, different stages, and at the different levels. I feel like they focused all on him, but they left her character out, so some of the motivations just really didn't seem to be there. I feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job if they expanded on her story and not just focused solely on him.
I'll agree with you on that part. And I mean, you do get to see him and I believe his fighting partner. Plus, you get to see, if you remember who his trainer was. You've seen the Kevin James movie when he's in the ring?
No, I did not see that one.
That's what Henry Winkler, where he's trying to get money for the music school and everything. It is so funny. It is so funny. But this guy and he is a trained MMA fighter, and he had to teach him and remind him, because this guy that he faces in the tournament beat him. He says, okay, listen, you need to do this. You got to stop here, and you need to go to judo. You got to do this. You're going to be under me. You want to learn. You want to go back. You want to win this tournament and everything. You're going to do this. And they did, but the only problem was he also did one other thing, was going back to the girlfriend. And it's like, listen, I got to go back there for that. It's like, oh crap, we're in trouble here. And that's what made everything crazy again.
Yeah, but it was also interesting that because this took place between the years of 1996 and 2000, it really fell to, they said, life-changing money, $200,000 was the prize.
Yeah.
$200,000 is life-changing money for some people, but for what a lot of these fighters get nowadays, they make like $1 million for one fight.
$200,000 is the undercard.
Yeah.
If anything.
So there was a lot to unpack with this movie.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
What is the year that it takes place?
It takes place between 1996 and 2000.
So what do we think 200,000 in that timeline is equivalent
Yeah,
to today?
and it was, at that time, life-changing money.
I mean, even now.
It's still...
I get my hands on $200,000 today.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You could
change my life.
It would change your life, but you'd still be working nowadays with stuff.
Right, it's not going to sustain a life
Exactly.
forever.
Yeah.
It's like basically back then when people were retiring at 62. Guess what? They were retiring. They were getting their Social Security, but they had to go get another job.
Yep.
That's what and everything. That's what even you look at this with the 200,000 and all.
Well, no one's going to be able to retire nowadays anyway.
No.
Let's just be honest here.
I retired out of college because I knew my life would be labor, so I decided to give myself that first.
Well, there's that, and also you wanted to reduce the amount of debt that you'd have to be stuck in.
I hope it helped.
Oof. But I do give them credit at the end of the movie. If you did follow in the supermarket,
Yeah.
that is him.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, they do switch over after the final fight has taken place. He did not win the tournament.
No.
His friend did.
Yeah.
He did him a favor by doing some damage to his opponent during his fight that he couldn't compete. So it ended up shortening the rounds. So then you go and you get to see the actual Mark Kerr.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see, but also like the little tidbits they gave at the end where it was like they were married for 6 years. It's like, oh, they were married, but you're not saying they're still married. You're not saying what happened. That's why I feel like they left a lot of holes.
I thought it said
in
that
this.
they got divorced after that too.
Did not. There was nothing that it said about divorce. It said that they have a kid together.
Yes,
So
yes,
they have.
that's right.
They do have children, but it was like, it felt like when you're leaving certain details out, it felt like there needed to be more to it for me to like really feel emotionally drawn, because I'm not somebody I didn't follow the Pride fighting. I don't follow UFC. The only UFC I ever watched was the original UFC when it was a bracket system and they all fought in the same night.
They had the Graysons, they had Mir, they had Couture, etc.
Yeah, it was no standardized style.
No.
It was, okay, you've got a karate guy taking on a sumo wrestler, or a barroom brawler taking on a judo master.
Not only judo, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Well, that came in later, but it was always just a matter of how they were doing it, and they kept it going throughout the course of the night. So they really didn't get long breaks, and it was to see who would be the better of anyone.
And they even mentioned, if you caught in the beginning, they mentioned Severn.
Yeah.
Dan Severn, which is actually cool. Which is good to see here that at least they brought in somebody for continuity to at least show it's true and everything. They don't mention Shamrocks, any of the Shamrocks or anything. I know, but but at least they mention him because he actually was big back then between Pride and UFC, both making both.
So now the Oscars. Have they? I don't follow.
No, they haven't happened.
They still haven't happened. So
no,
this
but
is
the
just
BAFTA
nominated.
But the BAFTA was a little racially ugly in a way. I heard.
Yeah,
there was a Tourette's sighting there, which was wrong.
Yeah, the award shows and award season usually always gets me because it's never about the quality of the movie and like how much money it's made. It's more a matter of who do we like and who do we think was a better artist.
I like that in the point that they changed the SAG Awards to the Actors Awards.
Yes.
Which is much better.
Do we? I don't.
It's confusing.
It's confusing,
I want
but
to say why I don't.
Please.
The Actors Awards are acknowledging more than just actors.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
When it was the Screen Actors Guild, then everyone in the guild, whether you were an actor or not, it makes sense. But now that it's just the Actors Award, which is the blandest name, they should just call it the award show and just capitalize THE. The award show. Like, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And I believe Sean Astin is now the president of the Screen Actors Guild. So he went, and even he was getting himself confused when he was talking about the award ceremony, and he kept calling it the SAG Awards as opposed to the Actor
Do you know
Award.
why they changed it? Is it because the word SAG is hilarious?
I think they said it was something to do with the fact that they wanted to focus more on the actors of SAG.
Yeah.
But award ceremonies to me don't really make too much sense unless it's more like, when I look at the awards, I think more like the ones that the fans nominate the people.
Yes.
And I think those have more of a meaning for me, because it's not just, oh, here's the industry standard. This is what we're doing. Because there's been countless movies that have made so much money and they don't even get nominated.
Not recognized.
Because it's like, oh, it's a comic book movie, so we're not going to nominate it. But I mean, Black Panther was a movie that was phenomenal and deserved to be up for awards. And
you know my stance on it. It's like the words, don't get me started on that one.
Exactly. So
I have you and me both with that movie and the sequel. We have a lot of gripe.
Yeah, there's a lot. There were great actors. The film was shot and done amazingly, and they were so snubbed that it bothered me. Hell, some of the other award shows, they snubbed Sinners. And that was brilliant.
And Coogler is a brilliant director.
And that's why it's like, it's the politicking that goes along with the awards. That's why it's like, yes, we'll talk about a nominated movie like The Smashing Machine, but it's not the same thing where we're giving a critique of what our opinions are, not saying, it deserves an award for this. Visually, I mean, The Rock looked like he was wearing a bodysuit to cover up not just his tattoos, but to make him look even bigger.
Yeah.
And if you see him now, he looks really small, sunken in. He does not look as big as he was before. But there's been critiques on his workout regimen. Plenty of like athletes and like trainers have looked at it online. And when you see The Rock doing 200 pounds on a leg press, and you're like, oh, that's his warm-up. No, that's his entire routine is at 200 pounds, when legs are supposed to be able to do twice the amount of what your upper body can do. So
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Question.
How old is The Rock now?
The Rock is in his 50s.
Yeah, he's 53.
How old was he when he was part of, was it
WWE?
Thank you.
That he was in his 20s.
So we're comparing him to the height of his fitness. Now.
Actually, I'm comparing it to his acting career, because they've been looking at his stuff more recently for his workouts. So when you see him doing movies like Black Adam, like he was jacked. He didn't need to be in the suit inside.
But it's already been more than 5 years since Black Adam, right?
Yeah. But
maybe more.
But at the same time, he's still been supposedly keeping up, especially for doing The Smashing Machine. So him keeping up that workout regimen, and now when you look at him, it looks like, and from what I've heard, he had some health issues, so he really shrunk down. Some people may think that he finally got off the juice. It all depends on what it is. I prefer that an actor be healthy and put him in a bodysuit. At least The Boys, they made fun of what was it, Jensen Ackles?
Yes.
Because he went and he heard he was going to be on The Boys, so he's like, all right, I'm going to be playing Soldier Boy. So he started working out, putting on muscle. And Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, went and was like, you could have just asked him to put the muscles in the suit. And it's like, I appreciate the dedication to the workouts. Like, that's a big thing for me. But at the same time, you sit there and you're like, yeah, but we had to cover up all the tattoos on The Rock.
Yeah.
Because he has his tribal tattoos. And Mark Kerr does not have those tattoos. No. So it was like but the body element to it looked like it was kind of fake. It didn't look like it was his natural physique.
The face
prosthetics.
Thank you.
What face prosthetics did he have?
The Rock made his face look more like Mark Kerr's.
Yeah.
So he was wearing a wig to have hair, but he also you could tell like they had done some prosthetics to the nose and to his jawline for his chin.
They gave him a goatee and he shaved his head.
Yeah.
A bit.
Well, he went back to the shaved head at that, like, towards the end. But, like, during the early stages of the movie, he's wearing a wig. Mm-hmm. You can kind of tell it looks like a wig.
And he was playing Mark who?
Kerr.
Mark Kerr. Why do we think they decided to tell Mike Kerr's story?
Mark Kerr?
Yeah.
With the dissatisfaction that you're expressing, why do you think the story was told?
I have more of a dissatisfaction, and it's not that it was a bad movie. It's just I wasn't somebody who followed the Pride.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah. Like, when you're coming from a background where you aren't a devoted fan.
They wanted to show people that there's more than UFC out there. A24 that released this movie, which is a good independent movie company.
Oh,
absolutely, agreeable. That they want to show something more than UFC, which Paramount can put out a movie like this at any time. Maybe. We never know. or Warner Brothers can if they do it. Maybe. You never know.
I thought they were both broke and one is trying to buy the other.
I know.
So try and figure that one out.
I think Martha Stewart's going to buy the both of them out.
That would be a fun twist of fate.
Oh, you kidding? Her and Snoop Dogg as the execs? Why not?
It would be such a delicious turn of events.
That would actually be, I think, the most amazing
and then Snoop
studio.
and Martha saved the day.
Absolutely.
Can we get that as a movie?
Sign me up.
Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart save Christmas.
Yes. Well, you know that they have the Snoop on the stoop.
That's just part one. Part two is they eat Snoop's treats and everything that happens afterwards.
Well, listen.
That's not even the sequel.
That's already a cooking show.
I'm not saying the sequel. I mean, like, part one of the movie, part two of the movie, resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
The resolution is Santa gets his hands on some of those cookies, and then Santa Stoner.
We interrupt this program to see, wait a minute, is that Santa parked inside the house? How did he get in there? You don't want to know.
Oh, he was invited.
But anyway, he took a different approach to go to...
But yeah, like, my thing is, The Smashing Machine is a good movie. It has a lot of interesting stylistic choices, but for me, it's not something I would ever watch again. If there was like an extended cut where we did find out more about his girlfriend's character, like where all of the things were coming from. Mm-hmm. Was this past relationship trauma? Was this something where it's a mental imbalance? Was this a substance abuse problem that caused the insecurities that made the two of them have that contentious relationship at times? Like, I think they should have explored a little bit more of that. And I would have been okay if the movie would have been 2.5 hours to add that little extra to it.
Maybe even a couple more fights and everything in between.
Well, the fights, though, were one of the best parts of the movie because they actually got legit fighters to come in and do the fight sequences. So the fight sequences were absolutely amazing. You knew that these guys were legit fighters because you could see the cauliflower ear on these guys.
Listen, Baz did a great job training him in when he said, all right, listen, you're with me, you're going to stay with me and everything. Because Baz, was, like I said, was the one that trained Kevin James in Here Comes the Boom.
Okay, good, because I didn't know what the title of the movie was.
Just came, whoop, there it is.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, but The Smashing Machine is just not a movie I'm going to go back and watch again. It was an interesting one-time watch, but I won't go back and watch that. I would actually go back and watch the Generation Iron documentary series, the 4 parts for bodybuilding, before I watch that again.
I'd rather watch Here Comes the Boom than watch that again.
I didn't watch it, and I still have commentary on why they probably didn't show more of their relationship.
Yeah, but I still would have liked to have seen more, because I just feel like that would have given more of a backstory to everything. And sometimes I feel like if you skimp on the backstory, you're leaving those narrative holes that it left me with questions. I didn't want those questions. I wanted it to just, like, tell me what it was.
Ah.
And
like they say, you have questions, we have answers. Yeah, you didn't answer my questions.
Yeah, they really didn't.
No.
It felt like watching a Senate hearing. You just weren't getting answers. You were just getting the runaround. And yes, I've broken Jimmy.
Listen, no. We're not getting into the celebrity of president. No, we're not getting in on that today.
No, I'm just saying.
We'll let Kimmel get in on that. Hi, Jimmy. We know you're watching.
We hope you are.
No, I can't. No, I send it to him and Guillermo. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Yep, I do.
Covered Guillermo for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
This last one, 2025. Okay, that's it. I'm done with my plug. Go on.
No, you can plug as much as you want. If anybody disagrees with my opinion on the Smashing Machine, you can send me an email at dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also leave us a comment on Dragoon Slayer Official on Instagram. So, with the cheap pop and plug right out of the way, needed to
Why not? That's one. We'll have a few more in between.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Yes.
But at the same time, there was so much going on. The Smashing Machine took up a good chunk of my time trying to watch that because there was a bunch of things to watch. And I didn't even get into my full deep dive into the new Baki series, which was Baki-Do, which... Watching just the first episode, it flows very well with watching the Smashing Machine because you have a bunch of fighters that all look like bodybuilders, even though they're all martial artists. And the premise of this season really is they're basically cloning Musashi, one of the greatest swordsmen ever. They're cloning him to have him fight against all of these other fighters that are in the Baki universe. Because they've all been bored since watching Baki fight his father, Yujiro Hanma. So, that's my anime recommendation because I'm like, after watching the first episode, I didn't want to stop, but I knew I had other things I still had to do. So
that's the sign of a good anime.
Yes.
You don't want to stop.
Yeah. And they did, Netflix released all 13 episodes. So if this is part 1 of the season, then we can expect down the line a second part. But 13 episodes to drop all at once. And it's dubbed. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Netflix.
So now, Jimmy, do you have anything from the vault?
From the vault, let's start with Tubi first, which I was watching today, was pretty damn good. I haven't seen in a while, of Tango and Cash with Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell as two cops that get framed by the ever popular Oscar-winning Jack Palance with his one-handed push-ups.
See, you mentioned Tubi, and all I thought you were about to talk about was the Cartoon Network shows that have all gone to Tubi.
Have they?
Yes.
Oh.
So you're able to watch Dexter's Laboratory and a bunch of other old cartoons
Dexter
from the heyday.
I went right to Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, absolutely.
Ding, ding, ding,
I remember watching the movie in the theater.
Was there a Powerpuff Girl movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I stopped watching before that happened. How
But-
was it?
It was actually really fun.
That's wonderful.
Tango and Cash is it's funny. It pokes fun at a lot of things. It pokes fun at Rambo during the movie.
You'd have to.
No, and he also incorporates into it.
And that's why you would have to.
Yes. I mean, but the action in it, very, very well on the action sequences and all with the guns and the storyline. And you see just a whole mess of trying to get themselves cleared during this. My next two are from Prime. One is Mafia with the late Lloyd. This was his last movie, Lloyd Bridges.
Mafia or Mafia Wars?
No, Mafia.
Oh, okay, because there was a movie that came out not too long ago, Mafia Wars, with Tom Welling.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, no, this was Mafia with him, Jay Moore is in it, and Christina Applegate. And it pokes fun at, let's see, The Godfather, Casino, Forrest Gump. It just pokes the crap out of everybody. Olympia Dukakis is in it. Jurassic Park is poked fun at. And it basically, I mean, they even poke fun at Scarface by using the expression "say hello to my little friend," which is Deep Roy. If nobody knows who that is, that's the Oompa Loompa from, what was it, Willy Wonka? No, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp. But it's just, if you really, really need a good spoof on the Mafia movies, that was it.
Johnny Depp was the Willy Wonka. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I believe, was the
Gene
original
Wilder.
with Gene Wilder.
Yes. And the finally, the one I would recommend to people, well, you know how I watch documentaries.
Yeah.
Man on the Run. Not Band on the Run, Man on the Run. If you remember, ABC had 3 Beatle documentaries. They had the anthology.
Yep.
They had the number ones, which also each one pushed the music, the CDs, and the videos. And they had Wingspan. Wingspan dealt with Paul McCartney after Wings, after the Beatles, and what he need. He's like, I need to do something. I can't just sit around here in my farm and everything. And so he developed Wings. They showed you, now Wingspan was like this much, and Man on the Run developed and expanded more with thanks to MGM, Amazon, and everything. And it also explained people forget, people like, him and the Beatles, they didn't have any relationships or anything. Not true. They had deep relationships, and they explained more into the movie. They explained about how not once but twice he had problems with Japan and marijuana. They explained it. Yes, they show that Paul McCartney is dead. No, he's not.
Yeah, there was that rumor.
Yeah, that was that rumor going around in the 70s. Yeah, no, he wasn't dead. But Wings is a band that isn't too much. People forget about it and everything. And they kept him alive. They kept his music alive and everything. Linda played keyboard for him, and a lot of people don't realize she didn't know how to play. She was amazing with the camera, being the last name of Eastman. And people don't know what Eastman is part of Kodak. And he basically has part of the Kodak franchise and everything still. But it's an amazing documentary to watch, and I will say enjoy if you want to know and you forget about the Beatles music and other songs that they did, watch it, and then you go on. A lot of times I've gone to watching movies and everything, and then I'll go on to, I'll put the Shazam up and put it up. Okay, it's on you, and I'll get it off of Apple iTunes and everything, which is good. So those are the 3 I'll recommend.
All right. Well, right before we go into Bridgerton, I do need to make one little announcement. You know, we have not had royalty on the episodes for quite some time. King Hamster Pellet seems to have retired from the arena. No one's going to see the top of that hand gesture.
I've never met King Hamster Pellet, and
You did.
Yes, you did.
Who?
Mike.
He's King Hamster Pellet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's news to me.
Yes.
Do we
So
get random titles of nobility here? What is this?
yes, actually, we do give out titles of nobility. And because of that, I am now crowning us a queen of Bridgerton, which will give us our queen, Danielle, with the crown.
Oh my.
All hail the queen.
Don't tell Queen Charlotte. She will have my head.
She'll make you wear an ugly wig, too.
I'm gonna take a selfie with this. Oh, I got it.
She caught it.
I'm just that
Yes.
good, lads.
Yes.
I'm just that good.
Yeah, so I decided that we would go and make sure that we have some royalty on the episode. Yes.
It's gonna sit right beside me.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Funny.
So I felt that we needed royalty on the show, so especially with Bridgerton talk.
Let's bring it on.
All hail
The Queen. Yes, so now we had the second part of Bridgerton season 4 did drop.
Yes.
And that was one thing that definitely took up a lot of my time because I took time to digest the episodes because I needed a break in between each episode because there was so much going on.
Yeah.
So-
They were like, "You ready for some feelings? Because we're gonna give you feelings."
And there was a lot of emotion. There was
Yes.
a lot of feelings there.
Yes.
There was.
So Now, when we came back, the proposal of being the mistress was already on the table.
Oh, boy.
And the fallout is absolutely amazing.
Not the game or the show fallout, but the fallout.
Yes, because Sophie trying to hide from Benedict was absolutely amazing.
In his family's house.
Yes.
Like, there's only so many places she can go.
Yet she found a way to keep avoiding him and to avoid the subject entirely. And I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, sometimes no answer is the answer.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had to go and talk to the others.
Alfie! Oh my god, we love him. He is a television edition and he takes the crown. We are crowning Alfie the winner of season 4 because he essentially took over the fairy godparent role and facilitated so many moments.
Yep.
Love him. Go on.
Yes. And then, like, Benedict actually having to realize he had to tell his actual feelings.
I think that was the most important and I feel the most instructional for the male viewership of Bridgerton because if you're lucky enough to have a trusted male companion that you can confide your feelings in, that puts you miles ahead of the general dude experience, which is sad but factual. And having it happen on screen and having it happen between Benedict and Lord Mondrich was an excellent way because he is not born nobility. So he's like, so you told a person what? And you expected them to be cool with that? All right, I'm just going to need to pull that head out of your ass and let's discuss. And
yes.
Sometimes that's literally all we need. Someone to just point out the very obvious.
Snap out of it.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I think nowadays most people don't like being told that they did something wrong and being corrected. But Benedict needed that because his decision was like, he thought he's making a good choice. And it's like, did you think about it from somebody else's perspective? Did you try to figure out maybe why she might be offended by this?
Not only that, it is a great course correct to point out that in Benedict's world, in the demi-monde where he hangs and the thrills and the chills he pursues, everyone is choosing to be there.
Yeah.
Everyone is choosing to take part in this luscious artist's experience of sensuality and whatever else happens behind those doors. But Sophie is not part of that world, and he fully expected her to not just agree to it, but be like, oh my god, thank you so much. That's exactly what I want. And to be clear, a mistress role did hold significance, no matter how we feel about it in modern day. It did. It was an elevated position out of poverty, even if it was temporary. And then whatever jewelry and clothing you accumulated basically became your private investment for when that man eventually moved on, which was Sophie's problem, because eventually the man does move on and is expected to fulfill the roles of the nobility.
Just as long as he doesn't get caught in public.
Exactly. And so we get that example as well of the people who were caught, the couple who were called out in public on Rotten Row, which is that beautiful stroll they always do.
By who else, of course? Lady Whistledown.
Who looked like she was trying to prevent the problem, even though it ended up causing a problem.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that when she was directly causing problems, she was less of a menace than... I don't want to say less of a menace. She was an equal menace, whether she was trying to cause problems or soften the blow. Either way, people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was interesting the fact that you have the queen trying to be like, oh, he's going to get married this season. We know it. This is the bet that she's making. And
with his sister-in-law.
Yeah. And she won the bet.
She did.
With a lot of chicanery mixed in.
I know.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I want to hear your take on it before I tell you my thoughts.
All right.
I was ready to ask you is, what do you think the bet was?
The bet was about...
No.
Oh, you mean like
what was the stipulations? Yeah. Because I think I have an idea of what the bet, what the winner got, which was the queen.
What's your take?
I think she got full access to being Lady Whistledown. She could appoint a new Whistledown. That's what I think.
That is a very cool
Because
take.
I'm thinking it's either one of her new ladies in waiting, or I was also thinking it's Heloise. What was it, the sister?
In the books, a lot of people do suspect Eloise,
Eloise.
of being Lady
Yeah.
Whistledown before Penelope is outed.
And that was one of the ideas even during one of the previous seasons where they were like they thought it was her and she's like trying to figure out who it is because it was like it's you. It's like no, it's not me.
not.
It's like I'll find who did it. And it's like no, you weren't. And that's the thing. It was an interesting twist on having that of like, okay, we've got all this background politicking going on. Meanwhile, you have the queen making a bet. And it's like...
A wager.
A
gentlemen.
wager.
A wager.
Yes, a wager. So they're... a gentleman's wager is typically $1. So...
But when you're betting with the queen, waging with the queen, different power play.
Yeah.
is at
$1?
stake.
What are you, the Dukes from Trading Places?
Hey.
Let us remember this is the same woman who insisted they had no maids in the castle.
Yeah.
She has zero awareness of what's going on outside of her high and mighty.
Except 2,000 paintings all across the hall.
Of herself.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It was so interesting this season because you have Benedict trying to find a way to have that relationship with Sophie, and it looked like it was getting there, and then it looked like it was pulling back, and then it's like it's like other people getting involved. Of his brother telling him, it's like you can't do this. Like
Yeah, one reservation I have. I understand comparing the books to the TV show is comparing apples to oranges, which are still fruits, so I'm gonna do it. Okay?
Have a pineapple.
Yes, spiky fruit. The one thing about the I'm losing my train of thought. Choo choo, there it goes. One thing that was very different from the book and the television show that works for the TV show, because there's a lot that's different, even though they stuck very closely to the book, was that Benedict never made a promise to not marry. He was just like, I'm gonna have to marry eventually, Sophie. He feels Sophie's being unfair by saying, because you can never marry me, I will not be your mistress. And he's like, well, that's absurd. Which also points out the privilege that is in his fuddy-duddy head. But in the show, because they really did romanticize him and soften him, and it worked in this circumstance, he genuinely is like, solution, I shan't take a wife. Duh, I solved it. But that's still not enough, because not taking a wife is not the same as legitimizing in the eyes of the law their marriage. And that's the whole reason why she is in this subservient role, because she was not born in the legitimate eyes of the law.
No.
And also, it's like him saying he won't take a wife is the same as in season 1 when he was like, I'm not going to have any kids.
Right.
So there's the equivalent there.
But the difference there is that Anthony had a life-threatening fear of, I'm sorry, not Anthony, Simon.
Simon.
Like of his father, because his father was so cripplingly abusive.
Yes.
And so, that was his revenge on the father, but he was also taking revenge on himself and any happiness that he could have. That being said, for people making choices about children, we are now in a place where we have a lot more information and, make it from a place of strength, not a place of revenge.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to say about the book Brothers is that, TV, Anthony became a mouthpiece for society, and so did Violet. Violet also became a mouthpiece for society, as opposed to their book counterparts, who were like, it's all about the person, go for the one you love. But there was an excellent scene that I'm so sad didn't make it in. I guess it kind of happened earlier in the seasons, but the brothers are sword fighting. They're sword fighting, and he's fencing with Colin and Anthony, expressing his frustrations, and Colin and Anthony are like, you're being dumb. Just go be with the woman you love. They're so love-saturated in the books that they are also willing to defy society. But because the show is like, no, let's look at what things were like in that timeline, minus the other adjustments we made. They really returned Anthony to that harsh character that he was in season 1. And Colin was just having bromance with his brothers-in-law, which was adorable because you do hear about it in the books. But Colin was such background in this that I forget he had scenes in it. And I really wanted to see that sword fighting scene, so I missed it. R.I.P.
Yeah, well, now, we had mentioned in the last episode that the death of the other sister's husband. Yes. Now, does that take place in a different book, or was it in the same book?
I was devastated.
That was sad.
I was devastated.
They made me really like that character.
Well, I'm glad they did that because John is alive for a page and a half in Francesca's book because we meet him the day he dies. Jeez. I mean, I'd say spoiler alert, but it's page 1.5 where it happens, basically. It's a couple of years into their marriage, but the start of her romance is actually the start of her grieving process because we never get to see her relationship with John. So I'm really glad that the show gave us, like, he had a character, they had their personality traits, even though it still had its own hiccups. He was a wonderful, loving character, and yes, I mourned him so much. I had to stop between those two episodes, too. I was like, cry my eyes out, voice note my friend, light a candle, and then just, like, go about before I could settle back in for the next episode.
I was like, but I liked him. Why did you do that?
I mean, so did Francesca. She liked him enough to marry him.
Yep.
I didn't like him that much, but
he was already taken. You didn't have
his cousin. The way he was like Francesca thought that she took too much of the time and everything. She was getting pissed off. She's like, excuse me, this is my husband here. Do you mind?
Yeah, I've got thoughts about that because in the book they're pals right away, and in the book. His name is Michael. You know, they gender swapped the character for the show. But Michael's beef is that he immediately fell in love with Francesca the moment he met her, which inconveniently was half an hour before the wedding. As the book states. Those are the book's words, not mine. And they had a friendship. He just dealt with it privately. He was just secretly always yearning and, like, squashing it down. But he put his best foot forward. They had a lot of loving banter and actually transforming that relationship from the familiar, we're kind of family-in-law, to actually we can have more was Michael's challenge when Francesca decided to come out of mourning. While she was in mourning, he wasn't going to do diddly squat. When she came out of mourning, and the only reason she did is because she wants a family and to have children, she has to get remarried.
Well, that ain't gonna happen now.
Well, that is the curious thing. So I bring it up because this contention between Michaela and Francesca is TV show only. And I have my own thoughts on it, my own perspectives on it, especially having watched plenty of, like, queer LGBTQ relationships happen on television, but really only from an observational place. And one thing that gets joked about a lot in lesbian communities is, like, you meet each other, you fall in love in half an hour, and then in that same week you're moving in. And so I'm wondering if that is kind of why Michaela is bantering the way she is and then dipping the way she is as well. And Francesca's own reluctance to be in the same room with her is partially because she's so loud and obtrusive, but also partially because she's uncomfortable with, like, these bubbling feelings that she doesn't know how to address, especially in that timeline.
Well, I mean, she did an Irish goodbye. She just up and left. Didn't say goodbye, nothing. Nope. So
she sure did. After saying, baby, I'm not going anywhere.
And, wake up the next morning. It's
someone went somewhere.
Yeah, she gone.
Even if they celebrated his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the angst. Oh gosh, I cried all through that episode too.
But I do crack up like we were discussing beforehand. Like, I'm watching episode 5, and all of a sudden I hear yes, I know. Which was the funniest part of it is also, like, it was the recital, and all of a sudden like everybody's dancing away and everything. And next thing you know, I started hearing this song. I'm like, Billie Eilish in Bridgerton? Really?
Is that what the song was?
Birds of a Feather.
That's what the song was? Wow, I didn't recognize it at all, even a little bit.
And then
I thought it was adorable. I loved the recital scene. My friend told me, my friend Deanie Horgan, shout out, who was pitching herself for Posie, alongside my pitching myself for Sophie back in the day, said that she had learned that dance in her theater classes back in college. So she recognized it right away, and it's taken the internet by storm. Everyone's just bunny hopping. That's what I'm calling it. Bunny hopping to
As long as it ain't the Cotton Eye Joe.
Listen, I found it funny.
I would love to hear the instrumental Cotton Eye Joe.
Who wouldn't? But then the other instrumental I heard, like I was saying, is Fields of Gold by Sting. Was in the I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh gosh, this song I'm like, this is too funny.
Yeah,
but that's Shonda World. That's her.
They pick some very interesting songs to turn into classic instrumentals. And it's very interesting when you are able to pick up on what song it is. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to figure it out and I can't figure it out. But at the same time, then there's a few of them, they just jump right out and you're like, they did not just. You know what? It actually works. And other times you're looking at it and I'm like, I don't know, really? It's a little weird.
Yeah, my problem was I didn't recognize enough of the music, so I couldn't appreciate the extra.
It just came out. I'm like, oh crap! And it was too funny on it.
Yeah,
it was too funny.
I mean, one of the things like I appreciated was the fact like Bridgerton mom. She had her fling, and it's like he walks away because it's like he knows this ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
She pulled a Benedict on Lord Anderson.
Yes.
She said, can we keep our situationship a secret? And he was like, I don't want to be a secret forever.
It's like, if I knew this was going someplace further, then yeah, but...
Especially because she already said yes.
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 So she was pulling away on that one, but she did help her kids out. And
especially in the court.
The blackmail alone.
Yeah. So I had to go back and rewatch that final episode because when I first watched it, I was wishy-washy about it. They added so much. Like in the book, the jail scene is the culmination, and the blackmail that happens between them happens in the jail scene.
Yeah.
But we barely got 5 minutes in that jail scene before they were like, and then everything else is going on.
Yeah.
And Sophie's house guest under house arrest, and they're like, don't go to Benedict's bedroom, who is conveniently across the hall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm gonna stand out here, so...
Yeah, don't sneak across. It's like, I didn't even notice, and it's taken me till season 4 to realize that the maid only has one hand.
Oh, yeah. The look difference.
Yeah, I did not notice that at all.
That's how good Shonda Land is. They remind us, like, hello, look at other humans in your community. Okay, carry on with the story. Boom.
Until I saw an interview, I didn't even know that the girl playing Sophie was in the Harry Potter movies. Because that was Cho Chang.
Wait. Oh, no, that's not Sophie.
No?
That's the mother.
That's the mother?
That's
Really?
Araminta.
Are you sure?
I am. That Katie Lung plays Araminta from Harry Potter.
Okay,
I'm
getting confused then.
Is of a different generation.
Yeah. Oh, but it's still, the fact that it's like, okay, we're dipping into Harry Potter actors now.
I know. But Simon from season 1 was in Harry Potter as well.
Yeah.
So, like, they've been there.
She's dipped into Harry Potter a couple of times.
Also, the Prince, the actor who played the Prince, was Connor or Cormac, the bully guy from movie 5. Yeah.
Cormac
McLagan.
In
wow, it's deep in there.
Yeah.
How to Get Away with Murder. One of the students was in Harry Potter, and he was a Gryffindor as well.
Which?
I'm trying to think of his name. But
I actually watched How to Get Away with Murder. I saw that whole series, and then I was like, I need to be done now. Too much has happened. I'm not okay.
Because they killed him off. That's the same one. I can't think of his name at the moment.
Killed off a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it was How to Get Away with Murder.
I know.
We had to expect it. They warned us in the title.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to say was in the final episode that they gave us, we get that bathtub scene, which is in the books, and yeah, that's the final episode. I had to think about it twice. But in the first half of part 2, thank you.
Season 4, part 2.
Season 4, part 2. Their first intimate scene happens during the recital. I'm over here like, Benedict, baby, you're knocking things off the table. Everyone's gonna hear you downstairs. This is the opposite of privacy. What are we doing?
Don't you know your mother needs to have nice things in a house?
this is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly.
Well, apparently they can have nice things, and he found a way to do it.
It was a very fun scene. I stand corrected. I was very disappointed with what we got in the first half. I stand corrected. Season part 2 delivered differently than what we got with other couples as well, which I appreciate, because when you have a show that you already know the intimacy scenes are highlights, then copy pasting is a waste of a season. So I'm glad we didn't get a copy paste.
No.
Can I just tell you the amount of friends who have messaged me and be like, Benedict's hips? And I was like, what do you mean? And then I realized what they meant was the motion in the ocean. I have to rewatch episode 5 just to clarify.
Yes.
But now I know what to look for.
Exactly. No, I will say, with a spoiler warning for anyone listening, like, just be prepared, because I'm about to spoil the ending of it. Lady Whistledown returns after the queen has already now given her the, you can step aside, don't worry about it. And it's like, now it's like, wait a second. Lady Whistledown returns, but we don't know who this Lady Whistledown is.
Yes,
Yes.
this is also a TV show only.
Yes. So, I
Yes.
mean, this is, I was just thankful that we got Julie Andrews' narration.
Yes.
I know, she's iconic. Although you can hear the shift in the sound, the tonality. It's like, it sounds enough like her, but it also sounds different enough that we're like, who is it? Someone else.
We know it's a different writing style.
Yes, yes.
So I think that was a good tonal shift of having Julie Andrews just, it now is altered just enough that it sounds like somebody else is writing. It's not the same inflections, the same writing style. So I think that worked really well.
Now I want to tell you something I have beef with.
Yes.
All right, this is called Justice for Posie, because they made Posie's character so wonderful and so close to
And
who
she
was in
finally
the
got a
book.
guy at the end of the...
I mean, yeah, I guess that's not her romantic finish, though, so we hope that she does get the one that she actually does end up with in the book.
Yeah.
But it is nice that she finally is allowed to dance with a suitor. However,
Her mother was a bitch.
I am bereaved that they took her hero moment and they gave it to Sophie. And on one hand, I understand as a visual medium, it's more satisfying to watch the main character solve her own problems. But it was such a treat in the book to see Posie, who's been quiet and meek and just as abused, but in a different way, finally, like, not just standing up, because she does stand up to her mother in the show, but to also have the knowledge about what's in the will. And in the show, she doesn't have any of that. They're like, she's just a debutante. But no, she's not. She's not just a debutante. I'm debutanted right now, is how I feel. So I just wanted to let you know, it's Posie in the books who has the information about the will. It's not Benedict who's like, but did you consider? Oh, something else that only happened in the show that works, that will never happen in the books, was that when they're having that romantic chat and he has drawn that picture of our cottage, which was so cute, he confides about having relationships with men, which was a good start. Confide in your partners, who you've been with. Importante.
Yeah.
And then she confides in him that she's a bastard. That was her deepest, darkest secret. She was never going to release that information mildly. Like, oh, and here's my casual truth. But
by the way, my
it
real
worked in
last
that
name is
moment.
Gun.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Well, the funny part is too, it's like he draws the picture of the cottage, gives her the picture, and it's like, and his brother comes in and it's like, and you're living in my house? Mm-hmm. It's like, really? You're saying that's your house? It's like, no, that belongs to me. Mm-hmm. So it was like, oh, so you're just like claiming everything now.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He can, though. He can, as the Viscount.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he could disinherit his brother. He could cut him off.
Yeah. And if he did, it's like, there's the warning there.
And that's why I'm saying they made him a mouthpiece for society. Because all of those things could have happened. But that was never a threat in the book.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of other threats.
Yeah.
All right, now I want to hear your take. What did you guys think of Araminta? Wait, I lost my phone.
Which one was Araminta again?
She was the stepmother.
Bitch.
Yeah.
That's putting it mildly.
Mildly. Oh, God.
I didn't, like, have complete disdain for her, but it was just like, you're a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're hiding the fact that this girl was left in the will. She has money. You can go, and you chose not to pay her. You used her as like the ultimate maid because it took how many people to replace her?
Bare minimum of 4 people.
Yeah. So if it takes like 4 people to replace one maid, that should tell you something. And it's like, you really, like, come on, like, you didn't pay her. You're complaining that she stole shoe clips that were
paste.
Yeah, they were glass
and then
paste. It was
yeah,
like,
then you found out it was Posie.
But it was like,
Also, no, in the book, Sophie did it for herself. She didn't need Posie to. Posie released her because she was locked up in a closet. That was upsetting.
So she treated her like Harry Potter.
No, basically it was almost like Cinderella.
That's the entire backbone of the piece. And the purpose behind that is the Cinderella story is about how easily we can treat someone inhumanely and what it takes to reclaim not just our humanity, but like confidence in ourselves that we're even worth more than our labor. So, and that's why I have a podcast called We Are Sophie. It's much less about, as an actor, I pitched myself for this role, and much more about how Sophie's role in the Bridgerton world is an every woman position, especially with her denial of being a mistress, because the risk of pregnancy, death, and outcast livelihood remains to this day.
And where can people see this podcast?
You can find me on YouTube under Des Marivet Productions. That is DEZ MARIV for victory, ETTE on YouTube.com.
See? Gotta love a cheap pop and plug around here.
Plugs.
We Are Sophie, that is?
We Are Sophie, in which I
We Are Sophie is a Des Marivet production.
Indeed, and you can hear me chat with fellow actor Melanie Hill, as we are 2 actresses who, over the last 5 years, were building connections in Shondaland and pitching ourselves for this role. Now, I myself never got an audition. I never got in the room, but I did make connections. I did get my jewelry. Oh, I should have worn my Sophie gauntlet. That's okay. I got my jewelry into the hands of Shonda Rhimes and mega producer Betsy Beers. Hi, do you still have your gauntlet? Because I worked very hard on that. It is handmade. Like, a lot of cool things happen. But the point of it is this every woman tale. And that just brings us back to the significance of Sophie's experience in Bridgerton and how we did get to see the other side of things. It was really fun take. Overall, I like what they did with it. I mean, I was still grieved that they put Francesca's devastation in this season. I was like, in my Sophie story? In my season?
They needed
That's
more.
right,
They needed a little more meat to go with the.
Yeah, it worked
That's what it
overall
was.
because life does not exist without contrast. Life does not exist without our pains. And Francesca's everything is another part of the every woman experience. Let's talk about that for a second. She has been trying to bear an heir, which is her role in society at the time. And her storyline is about struggling with infertility, which narrative-wise is a far and few story that gets tackled. And one thing that we see here is they must test whether she's pregnant or not. And I was wondering, like, what are they doing? What is this procedure?
Yeah, that was a little confusing because what at that stage of the world itself are they doing?
Precisely. What does this doctor expect to see? And so my friend, same Deanie, hey girl, looked it up, bless you for looking up details, and this procedure is something called the taking of the pains. So you can already tell from the title that it's designed to harm the woman and that it can in fact corrupt the pregnancy and cause miscarriage. So this entire thing is a violation to women for the sake of violating them. And that is something pervasive in the world. Unfortunately, violation exists whether we're a man, woman, or child, and it's simply
And animal.
And animal, thank you. Violation is just the choice to harm for the sake of harm because you can. And it's the most pathetic form of power I think exists. But because it is some form of power, people reach for it.
Yeah,
It's below low-hanging fruit. It's the rotten fruit at the base of the tree.
Yeah, I didn't particularly care for that because I was just like, this is like, what? Like, no. I get it. You don't want to take her word for it, but at the same time, it's like, you got 9 months. You can figure this out. Like, if she's saying it, you'll know within a few months.
Yeah, that also takes the perspective of treat every woman like she's a liar first, because when you are the widow of a noble person, you are at threat of losing your home, your income, and having the heir is the only guarantee that you get to keep it, because then the title passes on to the male child only. But because of that, it was common for women to immediately claim pregnancy, and delays to wait and see whether a pregnancy became visible or not is a months-long journey. And one thing he talks about is how it's so urgent that we pass on the title and the properties right away, because
that's what
someone's meant to be running it.
And that's how you see even with Sophie not marking in her book every time.
Yep. That was such an important scene every day where she's just like, okay. Can I confide something? I know I can.
Yes.
Even at times of my chosen celibacy where I know there has been 0 visitors, if I am like delayed on my timeline, I'm also like, okay, I hope it's not an immaculate conception. I'm just going to... Like, literally, the fear is that real. It does not matter that scientifically it's not happening. It's still in there. So that was another every woman scene. Like, we've all been there counting down the days, waiting to meet our red tides. It's blood. The red tide is blood.
Yeah. So... I don't know where to go from there.
All right, let's move away from blood by saying that Blood Brothers, nailed it. Yeah. Anthony comes back only for like 2 scenes. That's something a lot of people talked about.
Yeah, he did come back.
He had his modern Jurassic Park facial hair, and he lost his sideburns. I saw a lot of really funny reels with people playing that role and then going immediately back onto the other set.
Yeah, because it really was. He just like, he was there and then he's gone. It was like, you brought him in to show that he's still part of the family.
You brought
and
them
then
both in, and then the most beautiful baby ever to grace camera television. Those eyelashes were like I was being blasted by the winds of those eyelashes. That child is a model.
That's your next Gerber baby, folks.
Right? From Bridgerton to Gerber.
Yeah. It really was like, you saw like the family dynamic, because we already know the couple from the first season is not coming back.
No.
Because
I know we're never going to see them or their kids again. Tears.
I'm sure.
Maybe for the finale.
Yeah.
The series finale.
Let's see how much money they can throw at them at that point to get them to come back.
Phoebe Dynevor, I think, will come back. It's Ray Jean-Page who is like,
What, he hasn't done anything since what, Dungeons and Dragons?
I was going to say, he did Dungeons and Dragons. He's done some modeling shoots. I don't know. I don't keep up with his career. I keep up with Bridgerton.
Although Dungeons and Dragons was good.
Yeah,
right.
It was.
I have another question. Did you stay for the cutscene, or did you miss it?
Yes.
I did.
Okay, wonderful. A lot of people were like, what do you mean there was a wedding scene?
Listen, you'd know there's a scene extra if you just noticed Netflix didn't start going into the next.
How do you like this room?
Good
Thumbs
point.
up, thumbs down?
Good
Love it.
point. For me, I was like, you know what? I'm mixed about this episode. I feel like it ended kind of anticlimactically. And then the music changed, and I was like, wait a minute! So I always sit with credits, and then I'll battle with Netflix.
Well, Marvel has trained, I think, the majority of
Marvel
us.
and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think that was the first cutscene that I bore witness to.
See, the first one I bore witness to, I would have to say, was Masters of the Universe.
See, because I never knew about that until you guys started talking about that.
At the end of Masters of the Universe, back from the 80s with Dolph Lundgren, there's a scene right at the very end of the credits where Frank Langella comes as Skeletor, pops right back up, and is like, I'll be back. And then he never was.
Oh, that's funny.
So
he runs away forever, just like that meme.
He was just like, he just popped right up.
Just like that meme.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But actually, he'll pop back up as Jared Leto in the new film coming in.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like when I see Netflix does not start going into the previews, there's something more there. And I did that for Stranger Things. I've kept waiting, and I'm like, I see no, you didn't give me more. Damn it.
Oh, really? They did give you the next up in 5, 4.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Wow.
That was the thing. So it was once you see that next up, or it's like here preview coming in, I'm like, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
So I got to see that. That's why I was like, I thought the wedding was kind of cute.
I enjoyed it. I like that it happened at my cottage. It fixed the ending for me. It did.
Yeah.
They looked beautiful. Her dress design was
I like
gorgeous.
who brought her down the aisle.
It was Elfie.
Yes.
And it was also wonderful to see that amongst the guests are her friends who are also the serving staff, but they're not serving here. They
came as guests.
They get to celebrate. Exactly.
Yeah, there was that nice little catharsis of, okay, just because you work there doesn't mean you're stuck just working there. Mm-hmm. It's like you actually made friends with somebody, and it's like you're being appreciated.
Yeah. Although I have to say, with the amount of white wedding dresses that we got, white wedding dresses did not come into style until Queen Victoria herself was wed, and that's not going to happen for like another 15 years because Queen Charlotte is still alive. So that was like an 1840s
And it depends
thing.
how her style of her hair will be back in the next episode, Charlotte. It's either this way or this way, this way, this way, this way.
Yes.
And that wig is going all over the place.
Did anyone notice the dress she was wearing for that final ball has a painting? It's a Baroque painting, or is it Rococo? I don't know. It's one of those. But it's a very famous painting on the panel of her gown. And I think it's titled The Swing. And it's a very, to our modern eyes, we're just like, oh, that's sweet.
It's
but
basically
the
swing.
It's a tawdry scene because when the woman on the swing, her dress is going up and her shoe is flying off. So it's about being caught in states of undress.
Which is funny because I didn't notice that. I was more taken aback by the fact that the queen was now she's in on what's going on, but it's like they don't know she knows. Mm-hmm. So it was like she got such a kick and a rush out of that.
Mm-hmm. She let them lie to her. She's like, I know something else is going on, but I don't care.
it also was, it was like, you know what, I'm just having fun. And it's like, this is the last excursion I'm going to have with Lady Danbury. Mm-hmm. So
Danbridge.
No, Danbury.
Oh, it was Danbury.
Yeah,
Why did I think it was Lady Danbridge?
Listen, I make a lot of mistakes when it comes to
I know.
naming.
Even I think
I have that one right.
I think that's Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
I think that's the one who's in the moldering wedding dress.
I was like, I knew I had that one right.
Lady Danbury.
Yeah.
Me too.
And that's the thing. It was like they had that final last hurrah before she's now allowed to go off and explore and go home and not just be there to be her person around for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Facilitating and pulling the strings. Mm-hmm. And a fun little Easter egg for book readers is that Lady Danbury's grandson is the romantic pairing for Hyacinth, but she won't be meeting him for quite some time. Mm-hmm. That's a book fact.
Yeah. So, I mean, we spent a lot of time with Bridgerton.
Yeah.
There's so much to say. I feel like I barely scratched the surface.
It really does, because there was so much.
Here's my final thing. In the show, Benedict puts it together himself when he sees the amethyst necklace.
Yes.
I wore my amethyst today in celebration of Sophie. And also, finally, I needed to be told what the heck was that necklace, because it was so small, I couldn't tell. And I have a crystal brain, and I needed to know. And it turns out amethyst is like the national stone of Korea, which I did not know either. I should look up more information before I talk further about that.
Although it was interesting that he went and it's like he found the necklace and then he's looking at the picture he drew himself. Mm-hmm. That he couldn't remember her face, but the necklace stuck out enough that was what he remembered.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm. Whereas in the book, she is playing with some younger cousins, and they're playing blind man's bluff, so she's wearing a scarf across her face, so he sees this, and he's like, it's that Spider-Man meme.
Yep.
And then it causes this huge eruption and a giant battle, and that's where she confesses about being a bastard, and it's not a soft, gentle scene. It's ugly. So this was a lot better. This was growth.
I also do like...
also being immediately cool with it, like he didn't feel betrayed at all.
I also do like he finally got to finish something he concluded, and what was it?
The painting
of Sophie.
Yeah.
Yep, and you see at the bottom.
I'm not
Benedict
crying. I'm
Bridgerton.
crying.
Yeah, it was finally that the artwork was complete. He found his muse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we got to move on because we have one more movie to discuss, which is How to Train Your Dragon, the live action from 2025. And I have to admit, never saw the animated version.
Same.
And I've only seen the animated version.
So from everything everyone had said, it was pretty much a complete redo of the animated movie.
Copy paste.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You'd be the person to say this. If did he lose his foot?
Yes.
Okay, so then it was exactly the same.
Yes.
And I've seen what the characters look like in the animated version, but I'd never watched it. But I was like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, they really made them look exactly like the animated counterparts.
Yeah.
And it was Gerard Butler, though, as the village chief.
Wait,
And
did Gerard Butler come back in the live action?
yes.
Yes.
Gerard.
Okay, because he's the voice
And
of the father.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have Gerard Butler, literally.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Nick Frost was hysterical.
Yeah.
As the,
Nick Frost was great in there. All the kids, though, did such a great job, and they look like the counterparts. But I think the twins, they went and they gender swapped, because they're not, like, is it a boy and a girl, or...
That's a great question that I think even when you are watching the movie, you question.
Yeah, but in the live action, it's clear. One's a boy, one's a girl, and they're,
Yeah.
like, arguing with each other.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're twins. Even our own mother can't tell us apart.
Yeah.
They're making the joke, and it's like, no, it's obvious. We can tell you two apart.
I don't
Now you-
remember. It's been a while.
yeah. Now you know who that big know-it-all kid was that knew all about the dragons and everything, right?
Of course. He was the kid from Deadpool.
Yep.
Well,
Deadpool too.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him in another movie as well.
Yeah.
I believe it was Y2K he was in.
Yeah.
So he's actually really good, but he's just a big guy. So it was interesting to see him as the Viking. So he's just like the giant fur.
He made
It's like-
perfect.
you would think it's a giant coat or something, and it's like, no, he's just that big of a guy.
Okay.
So it was like, okay. But I like the CGI that they did for all the dragons. Yeah. It made them feel very real, like if they were in the scene.
Nice.
So to me, I really enjoyed it. I think it's another one that's up for an award. But it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, this made me now want to go back and actually watch the animated version. Although I was watching it, I was a little tired, so I kind of fell asleep, and I had to go back in and go back because, of course, I fell asleep before they get to the giant dragon. And it was like, the thing was huge, but it also looked like a dinosaur with multiple eyes.
Oh my
So I
gosh,
was
that was like atrociously huge.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's like the mega beast.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
end-all beast.
So I enjoyed it. I liked what I saw. Jimmy, what did you think?
Excellent movie, great story, plot, and everything. I mean, Hiccup. Listen, he finds this dragon. He's like, I got to keep it a secret and all and everything. And he just, the way he trained him, got him. He's like, all right, I got to do this, do this, do this, do this. It's amazing on it. So it really, really gave the story a good flow and everything to go through and all. And
Well, considering he did damage Toothless.
A Night Fury.
Yeah. He damaged his tail wing, so he wasn't able to fly anymore.
But that is the difference of Hiccup as opposed to the rest of the Viking family, is that Hiccup is compelled to nurture, and that is at conflict with being a Viking. Except that's the strength of the entire film. It's only by nurturing each other that we survive and that we discovered the answers of the mystery. Like, they didn't know about the giant monstrous dragon that all the other dragons were feeding, and that's why they were always being attacked.
Yep.
Until but so nurture was the answer all along behind it.
Yeah. And I really liked it. It's actually something I would watch again, and I think I would enjoy it even though I did have to watch just the same scenes over again towards the end, because I did wake up and I was like, I'm not rolling it back to go back. I'll do it later.
It's nice to see that DreamWorks can take an animated movie and create it into live action. Now you wonder now, it's like, okay.
Why can't Disney do it that well?
No, I'm wondering now is what DreamWorks will do next.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, with
But
the...
also, it's still animated and
It's
has
still-
humans.
it has
humans and animation. I just feel like we gotta say that.
The one thing that I give them a little immunity on not to touch is Shrek, because that was already a musical. So I'll leave that on the side, but check what everything else you got.
Listen, DreamWorks has a good track record with a bunch of stuff. Disney does not have a good track record with their live action remakes. And it's not because they're doing something wrong. What they're doing is they're losing the thing that made it special in the first place. Yeah. Because you can tell the exact same story, but now you're changing things to add a couple of things in. Listen, I didn't particularly like the Aladdin live action remake, and that was also because you had Will Smith trying to be Robin Williams, and he can't do that. No. But also, I did like the fact that Princess Jasmine in there, Naomi Scott was able to get a song for herself that was a little expanded on her character a little bit. But I felt like we lost things when it came to The Little Mermaid. There were certain things, and
I know.
I think
I've got things to say.
the girl did a good job. It just
she was Ariel.
Yes.
Like her voice matched the 1989 film.
It was just there were things that were missing from there. That
like everything in the ocean.
Yeah.
They just was like, we live in the vast open sea. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Atlantica's not in the vast open sea. It's a kingdom. Where is it?
Yeah.
But they were too busy animating other things.
Yeah.
But one thing like that you say, they take away, and I'm gonna stand by this because it's always deemed girly, and I do not care.
Okay.
Okay. But there's this moment at the finale, when she re-emerges from the sea in her sparkling sea foam gown, and that gown represents that transformation. It's not just clothing. What does she show up in the movie? Do you guys remember? I'll tell you what she shows up in the movie. She shows up in her shipwrecked dress. It is ashy, it's burnt, it's drowned and bedraggled. She looks like she survived being a drowned rat.
She looked like she survived the Titanic.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's just like insulting to this actor who already went through hell because she dared to be black in the face of a white animated mermaid. And it's like, Disney, you didn't have the budget for one more dress. Nah!
And the thing is too, when you look at the Little Mermaid's actual story, she doesn't get the prince. She goes and actually turns into sea foam. Yeah. So the foam becoming the dress is like, it's the throwback too, and that wasn't there. So that's the thing, when you lose certain elements to it because you wanted to change, because you didn't want to redo the exact same thing, but you took away from what made it special in the first place. Which is why everybody who complained about, Little Mermaid's black, or it's like Emma Watson can't really sing, which I can't.
I was going to bring it back too, Beauty and the Beast, but not because of her singing.
But it's, the things were there. You can just shot for shot remake. You don't have to worry. Guess what? Little Mermaid's a mermaid. She can be whatever color she wants, because guess what? They did an animated series and they had a deaf mermaid with an octopus that was her translator translating her sign language. So there are so many things when you take away, and DreamWorks did a job of not taking away from what the original had. I haven't seen it, but it made me want to go back and see the original. Nice. And I think that's the sign of a good remake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm still looking forward to seeing what Questlove is going to do with Aristocats.
They're doing the Aristocats?
He's doing it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm torn.
I'm torn, but also
it's
I
Quest.
enjoyed that film, but also what? And the little outfits, and it's gonna look so silly in live action, but it's so cute in cartoon. Okay, I don't know enough.
Well, listen, the simple fact of the matter was they called The Lion King a live action remake, and it was all CG. So it's not live action if it's all CG.
I think that's what basically even Aristocats is going to be. Aristocrats is the joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But listen, they're going to do what they're going to do, and Disney, it has to go back to the well, but they have to realize you can't change things too much. You want to make a couple of alterations, that's fine. But when you go and you take away the heart of the story, you've now ruined it.
See, that's why I was going to bring it back to Beauty and the Beast, because the changes they made didn't have to ruin the story. But one huge change they made was Beast doesn't truly soften in the same way his animated counterpart does. He learns gentility, and I don't mean just being part of the nobility. Like, he learns to be gentle. He learns the strength in it. Whereas in the movie, he's just negging her all the time. And I'm like, what is attractive about this? What? He just stays Beast.
It's like at that point, she would have been better off with Gaston.
Literally, Gaston was upfront about it.
Yeah. He was.
But he didn't have an enchanted castle.
Yeah. But that was the thing. They took elements away from what made it special.
Yeah.
That's why
The character development.
animated movies that you want to make into live action, they need to have that element of we need to keep what the heart
We need to
of
keep the
story.
continuity
May
of
I
the
say,
story.
they must keep the cheese.
Yes.
It's cheesy because
Yeah.
it goes there and it lets you have that. And modern audiences condemn cheese, but they need it. Just pop a lactate pill. I don't know.
Listen, if since they're talking about the Aristocats, I would really rather they just do the Rescuers.
Oh, hey, you never know. That might be coming next.
Like, I think that
They won't
one,
touch it. It's about child trafficking.
She's got a point there.
Well, let's see, 2028, maybe in 2029, 2030, we'll see it.
Yeah. It'll be a warm issue then.
Rescue Rangers. No, wait, those are different mice.
Wait a minute.
Chipmunks.
Wait a minute.
Which there was a live action Chippendale movie.
Yeah, that was like the early 2000s.
No,
Yeah.
it was like 2020, 2021.
There was
Around
one
there,
in the
before
early
the
2000s.
before the COVID.
No, it was like it was a sequel. It went right to
Okay.
the theaters and to and to streaming, and it really was. It was like Chippendale. The team had broken up. They were now like celebrities.
Oh.
So, what was it? Chip actually went and he got the CGI treatment, so he looks more like realistic, and everybody else is still a cartoon.
Oh, that's fun. That's adorable.
Yeah.
Did you see somebody posted? If you look at Chippendale Rescue Rangers, you put them on one end, and then you put on the other side Tom Selleck.
Well, that's what it
And
was.
Harrison Ford.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. The
It was
brown leather jacket.
Magnum PI with
At the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. There's a great history there. They've done so
That
much
is so
great
cool.
stuff. In all honesty, at this point, make a live action movie and just do Tailspin.
DuckTales.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
But he's a big old bear, right? Baloo.
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 They took all the Jungle Book characters and put them in there.
I forgot. Like, until you said Tailspin, it was like deep in the depths.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, one of my favorite Disney afternoon cartoons was the first one, which was Gummy Bears.
Yes.
Oh my god, I used to love
That used to be on Saturday
show
morning.
obsessively. Do you guys remember the cartoon The Snorks?
Yes.
Yes. Come
Swam
and play
along with the Snorks.
I was never a fan, but then again, it was
Oh my
I
god,
was
I
more.
liked them more than the Smurfs.
I actually like the Smurfs more than the Snorks.
Oh, and I mean, they were basically competitive series.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like that they were little underwater creatures.
Snorks would come before the Smurfs.
It was the evolution.
Yeah.
They had
Basically.
to crawl out of the sea to become the Smurfs.
Yeah. I will never forget the one episode of the Smurfs where they went and there was that bug that went around and they were biting each other. Their tails would fall off. They turned purple and they were the Ganaps. Ganap, ganap,
Are we
ganap.
talking about the Smurfs?
The Smurfs.
They
Smurfs.
have tails?
Yeah. They all have a
What?
little tiny little bunny tail.
Yeah, you didn't realize
I
that?
don't
You-
remember. I haven't seen the Smurfs in a long time. I forgot their anatomy. Excuse
Oh, yeah.
me.
No, there was that one thing where it's like they turned purple instead of blue.
And they weren't choked, by
No.
the way.
That's a different episode.
That's a whole
That's a
different
college
genre.
humor genre.
Yeah. No, but it was they went and they attack each other. They were trying to find a cure for it because one of them was infected with a virus that had just like ganap. It was like weird.
Papa Smurf. What is it, Brainy?
And then but they could always do a Smurfs movie, which I still have to see the last one that came out because I was like, did they ever use Johan and Pee Wee?
Johan and Pee Wee?
Yes.
No.
Later in the Smurfs, I know this is a complete tangent, but
I'm sorry, are Smurfs salamanders? I'm stuck on this tail thing. Like just a little nubby tail? What is it?
It's like a little bunny tail.
They've got
little bunny tail? This is for science. I gotta Google this while you're talking at me.
But they went there.
She's verklempt.
Yes.
I am.
I'm feeling a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
The topic is
the
Smurf
tales.
That's what this whole podcast is about now.
But no, so the thing was that they came out, and as the seasons progressed, they introduced human characters other than Gargamel, where they had Johan and Pee Wee.
And the princess.
I just gotta show the pictures that
With
came
the tattoo?
up. Like this guy's just like showing
Yep,
off
that's it.
little...
La 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 la.
And then the one underneath it.
That's Smurfette.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they gave a bunch of other Smurfs came with different outfits.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put this away before I go on the deep internet.
That's a deep dive right in.
Yeah.
I've done that plenty of times. But yeah, no. So that was the thing. They added the two human characters of a knight and a squire, Johan and Pee Wee, and they were friends with the Smurfs because they introduced the kingdom. Gargamel's still trying to get them, but they had human allies. So it became like this whole thing. And Azrael had a little arch enemy because Johan and Pee Wee had a dog.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
What size is the dog?
normal size.
Okay.
That's why it was Azrael's like
Able
little,
to combat him.
Yeah. And it was cute and it was always adorable. So it was one of those things that I always remember. That's why it was like the Snorks. I was like,
Come and play with the Snorks. They just had a more memorable theme song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean
That too.
I didn't have to remember anything other than that.
Just the laws.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap things up after the Snorks controversy. So
Smurf Tales.
which I will go and I will post on the Spotify page. We'll have a poll of which did you like better, the Smurfs or the Snorks.
Very important for
Yes.
your everyday life.
And so you guys really need to go.
Do
and
not
check that
break
out.
the tie with the gummy bears.
That's not part of it.
That's not part of it.
I'm only doing
Yes.
Smurfs versus
What could
Snorks.
even compete with the gummy bears? Let's be honest. Like it had a competitor show, but I don't remember.
Get
who it
Along
is.
Gang.
Nah.
Care Bears.
Care Bears.
But they didn't have too many episodes.
Yeah, but Care Bears had their own thing. They were just.
Please, they're gonna have their own Masked Singer episode
There-
next week.
Listen, there was the Care Bears, the Care Bear Cousins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Furfles.
Let's end it on this.
Yes.
What is the symbol on your Care Bear tummy?
Birthday Bear.
Birthday bear.
Mine. What was it? The cloudy guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the bubbles. The bubbles.
Reminds me, Bubbles has been looking for you. Better be careful.
Listen, the Care Bear stare, they just stick out their bellies and a rainbow shoots out of them.
Yes.
Which I do have to say we did lose recently. The other day, I posted it on Facebook. We lost the voice of Rainbow Bright.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yes. So,
An underappreciated title.
yep. So unfortunately she passed. So, but I want to thank everyone for being here. Jimmy, you want to tell everyone how they get in touch with you?
Get in touch with me? Sure. Sad news, by the way, everybody. We Are Family is off of Tubi, so you can catch us on YouTube somewhere. Just type in We Are Family and you can catch the episodes. I wish us luck. Snapchat, James, SI0925, lowercase. And James the 4th, you can catch me on James Haynes the 4th on Facebook. James H_the 4th on Instagram and Threads, which is also connected to Facebook. If I put up a good story, good laugh from all my little stories I find in between, whether it's wrestling, music, Queen, etc. And on TikTok, it's James0925. On Blue Sky, it's James925. So, thank you very much.
And Danielle, can you tell everybody how they can find you?
You can find me across social media, but Instagram dominant at Des Marivet. That again is DezMari, V as in Victor, ETTE. If you followed me once on TikTok, I refused to sign that stupid thingy, so don't follow me on TikTok anymore. Find me on Instagram. Everything can be found under Des Marivet.
There you go. And you can find me, the Blue Dragoon 13, at Blue Dragoon 13 on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Discord, Threads. There, I'm all over the place, but you can make sure you can listen to the Dragoon Slayer podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Audible, and all of your other podcasting platform needs. YouTube is 1 week after we post on Spotify, but if you can't wait to see us, we're on Spotify for the video versions. Not only that, but you can sign up and join the Facebook group, Dragoon Slayer Podcast, and we have Dragoon Slayer Official on Instagram. So you can find all the reels, the shorts, all that stuff is there, but you can find it on TikTok. I'm going to try to start being a little more active with a few other things that I have some ideas for, so we'll see how that all plays out. But in the meantime, I want to thank everyone because following us is the best way of doing it. And if you go and make sure and like, share, subscribe on every platform, leave us comments, reviews, it helps other people find the show and it expands our audience out even more. And we could definitely use it because, frankly, we're nothing without you guys. So we can keep having these conversations, but we need you guys to be part of the experience. So we want to thank each and every one of you for that and enjoy what we're doing. And we can have more guests on like Danielle, because I'm sure we'll get another season of Bridgerton, even though they haven't.
Yeah, I'll see you in 2028. We know it's Eloise,
Hail
right?
the Queen.
It's Eloise.
Yeah. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you all, Jimmy. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
Thank you, our queen.
Oh,
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Wow, what an
hell yeah,
experience. Don't tell Charlotte.
Don't tell Mom. The babysitter's dead.
Don't tell Mike I gave away his crown.
He knows.
He know nothing.
He knows.
And with that being said, we want to thank you all for tuning in, but you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out.
Bye.